ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm Minas Tsamopoulos, journalist at Proto, Thema, and it's my great pleasure to warmly welcome you to this Fireside chat, a highlight of this year's Delphi Economic Forum, with a very special guest. I'm honored to moderate this discussion with the chairman of Piraeus Port Authority, Mr. Yu. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Yu, in this short session, will be sharing with us valuable insights on the port industry, at the role that the largest port in our country, the Port of Piraeus, plays for the country's economic, transport and tourism, its geostrategic role and implication in the region. Mr. Chairman, we have also the most impressive company's recent announcement of the 2022. Mr. Chairman, good afternoon. We are glad to have you here with us today. Thank you for accepting our invitation, and I'm looking forward to our discussion that I'm sure will be very interesting and very enlightening in many ways for us all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minos, and I be very happy that and be very honored to be here. And I think as COSCO Shipping shareholder of the ports of the Piraeus, and we since 2016, and we make great efforts to make the good cooperations and the good operations of the ports of Piraeus. So last year in 2022, we created the very good result for the company's benefit.
It's the most successful year.
Yes, this is the successful years in the histories of the Port of Piraeus. Our total income is reach about 200 million, and our net profit reach about 8 million, 60 millions, and the gross profit is about 80 millions. So also, just like Mr. Minos mentioned, especially for the cruise business, and after the pandemic times, and then we're already back to the normal for the cruise shipping business. And all of our cruise ships, which is international owners calling the ports of Piraeus, is almost about 700 calling, and the passenger is reach about 880 million. So it's almost very close to the figures which is happened in 2019 before the pandemic. And we also predicated for this year, the cruise terminal will get the tops in the history. And our pre-booking at the moment is about 800 calling in the ports of Piraeus, and the passenger will reach about 1 million persons. So it's really, really very interesting and really very recovering for the cruise business. Of course, and you know that the ports of Piraeus, and not only for the cruiser, but also for the container, for the Ro-Ro, for the ferry. So all of our container is already shipping. Building. Yes, it's a hub of for the container business. So it's already reached about 5 millions, and we are the top number 5 in the Europe, in whole of the Europe. So 3 of them, it's in the North Europe, and only together with the Valencia, we are the number 4 and number 5 sometimes. 2 years before, we are the number 4. Right now, we are the number 5, but the figure is very, very closing with each other. It's all about the 5 million TEUs in the ports of Piraeus.
Let's go back to cruise ships. Tell us about the home porting.
Okay.
Piraeus became very strong to home porting.
Yeah.
That means that the cruise ships start the cruise and come back in Piraeus.
Yes.
And year by year, you become stronger and stronger.
Yeah. The home porting is also developing and increasing very much. So last year, our home porting already get about 50% of the whole of the port callings. And this year, we suppose to be the home porting and also pre-booking is about 80%. So it means among these 800 calling in ports of Piraeus for all of the cruiser, it's about 630 ships calling for the cruiser as ports of Piraeus at the home ports. So that will be a very big number. We are supposing it's a very big number for the ports of Piraeus, and it's very, very good for the benefits of the economic of the whole societies of the Greek, and also for very good for the tourist industrials, because at the home ports and for the home ports cruiser ships and all of the passage has to arrange the passage embark and disembark from the ports of Piraeus. So it will be creating a lot of hotel business, a lot of shopping business, a lot of tourist business, a lot of sightseeing business.
Even from Piraeus and for Athens too.
Yes, both.
Can you tell, Mr. President, can you then say that we have reached the full potential of the cruise port in terms of expansion works?
Okay, so we are make the 2 terminal expansion, which is the one is about 350 lanes. The another one is very close to 400 meters length. And all of the depots is about 25 meters. So it can accommodate the biggest cruiser ships in the world once we are finished it. So these 2 berth expansion, we can finish it after 2 and 3 years later. Then after 2-3 years later, and then I think the ports of Piraeus will welcome the biggest cruiser coming to the ports of Piraeus. It is about 9,500 passages and all capacities in the cruiser ships.
Okay, that's amazing, eh?
Yeah. Then you will see the biggest one. Yeah.
Big picture there. This is what makes the case even more interesting. Despite the external unfavorable conditions, considering also that its geostrategic position and impacted greatly by the pandemic especially, the flows between Asia and Europe. Also considering the port business range and the complexity, how could PPA achieve a growth and profitability? It's my question.
It's your question. So can you repeat something for?
How you can achieve all these numbers in a period with geostrategic turbulences, with a pandemic, with everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
How the port of Piraeus, tell us the secret.
Okay. I think most important is that for the company to make up the strategy and the good operation is very, very important for the companies, especially for the good management for the operations and also to set up the strategy of the companies. You know that pandemic is to harm everybody, harm to every companies. But the most important is that we have to be well organized for all of our operations to attractive and to make the very good service to the customers. And let the customers don't to give up the chance to make the business. So what we are doing in the ports of Piraeus, and we're trying to give all of the customers a very, very good service, such as to make the very good coordination, very good communication with all of the societies, with all of the laborers, with all of the port clearance, with all of the port police, and with all of the service, which the society of the ports of Piraeus can provide it. So that would be very important. So we think that we just take such kind of the chance and let's the cruise business back to the normal in a very short period of times after the pandemic. So I think this is the very important issues. And also for the society, I think we also have to let all of the society knows the port is very important for their support, for their supporting, because if you don't have any laborers to provide the service, if you don't have any influence of all of the societies of the Piraeus area, and also the other area like the ship repairing and all of the workers, then you cannot to create the good result. So what we are thinking is very important, and also for our ports of Piraeus, we're also doing some social responsibilities. So we give a lot of donation, we give a lot of financial supporting to all of our surrounding cities, city municipals, city peoples, and let them have a very good environmental, very good surrounding for the social workers and also for the social livings. So we spend some money, we spend some split to do it.
You have mentioned that PPA has a strong ESG focus, and we know that you have been among the most sustainable companies in Greece. 2 consecutive years, and one of the first ones to enter to Athens Stock Exchange ESG Index. You have also previously mentioned that the PPA plays a significant role for the local communities.
Yeah.
Mention that again, please.
Yes, just like Mr. Minos mentioned, in our stock listed company, because we are the public stock listed company, and we got the ESG constant trade companies for almost consecutively 2 years. So because we are doing a lot of social responsibility to the societies. For example, in city of Piraeus, we give them the land about 8,000 square meter to 8,000 square meters, which is very close to the city of the Piraeus, and we donate 8,000 square meters land to the cities of the Piraeus, and we also use our expenses to build the child's playground for them.
It will be available to all citizens.
Yes, and it will be open for all of the citizens. And right now we are making the building. I suppose that after 1 year later, it will be finished, all of this playground for the children. And then the city of the Piraeus or citizens' children can make the play in this playground. So this is the very biggest donation issues to the city of Piraeus. Secondly, is that last year we donated about 13,000 square meter to the government, to the culture of the minister in the ports territory, and we give them to do the underwater museum, antique museums. Yes. And the Minister of the Culture will call some EU fund to make some invest about 80 million. 80 million, yes, EU fund. It's a European fund. They will make up all of this museum. But from Ports of Piraeus, we donated about 13,000 square meters of the land, and also building some of the small buildings and the land to the municipal, not to the municipal, to the central government, to the Minister of the Cultures. So I think it would be very good for all of the citizens in the Greek, and also for the tourists, to attract the more international tourists coming to Greek to visit these underwater antique museums. Once it's finished, of course, we need some time, some year to finish it. But
you have done the first step.
Yes, because they already finished the design, and we give them the land, and then they can, once all of the formality is finished, and then they can start to building.
As I understand of all our conversation, this means, in other words, that the more the PPA revenue increase, the more the local municipalities benefit. That's right?
Yeah, that's right. And
that creates a mutual beneficial relationship between PPA and topics
yes.
municipalities.
Yeah, and also you know that we, after 2016, once COSCO Shipping take over the majority shares from the government, and also because we signed the concession agreement, so we have to pay some concession agreement fee. It's about 3.5% of our total revenue. So once we get it, at that time our total revenue is only 150 million. But last year, we already reached about 200 million. So you know that the concession fee is also increased. And all of this concession fee, the government is going to all of the municipals. They not take any money. And all is to supporting the surrounding municipal to improve their traffic, to improve their people's life, and also to improve all of the society issues. So I think right now we're already increasing about, from the beginning in 2016, it's only about maybe 3.5 million, but right now we already reach about 7 millions.
More revenues for PPA.
Yes, and also more concession benefit to the local municipal and local
It's
people.
It's a win-win, I think.
That's right.
PPA frequently says that the company wants to transform to Port of Piraeus, to transform the Port of Piraeus into a green port. You have hosted in Greece some of major international events dealing with those issues in the maritime industry. I can recall the Green Port Cruise and Congress, and recently the Mediterranean Ports and Shipping Exhibition and Conference. And you are a container terminal. My question now. How can you balance of being one of the most important transshipment hubs in Central and Eastern Europe and the top container transport port with environmental challenges and targets? How you can manage these two things?
And we always focusing on, and also in alignment with the environmental regulations, which is published in the European European committees, I think. We always to follow that all of these environmental regulation, because we all think one side that we have to develop our business. Of course, just like Mr. Minos said, that for our container hub, and we already established the container hub in the East Med, and almost we attract all of the business from the surrounding countries, not from the Greek, because we all use the transshipment hub to the Italy, to the East Med, to the Turkey, to the central of the Europe. So we attract all of the business by surrounding countries. But we cannot forget that the environmental issues. So we try to, based on the EU's regulation, we try to reduce our CO2, CO2s. So the best way is that to change the
CO2
fuels.
Emissions.
Yes, CO2 emissions, yeah. So the best way is that we have to change something which is not to use the gasoline or fuels, just use the LNG or LPG, and also try to reduce such kind of, and use the more technology to do it. So we are right now doing it, and we all will use our very clean fuels like electricity, and also we are doing for this. And we try to use the Shu electricities. It's called the cold ironing. We are make the study right now, and we try to get the approval from the government and from the EU, and then we will make the excursion for the cold ironings. Of course, and for the digital also, in order to catch up the water paths, and we all use by the Vodafone, we will use the digital management of the whole of the ports. So we are starting to, by step, to improve it.
Mr. Yu, thank you very much for your time and this interesting discussion. It was a pleasure having you here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay.